And welcome back to another Pro Guides video. My name is Ivern, and today I'll be hitting some news about Riot's decision to take back their plans to implement higher dodge penalties in Champion Select. Everything mentioned here is from an official Riot dev post, but please keep in mind that nothing is set in stone and changes can be made before these hit the live servers. Moving on, today's question of the day is, what's the most common reason why you dodge ranked games? For me personally, I always dodge when I see an auto-filled mid laner or ADC. I feel like the other roles won't have too rough of a time if they don't know what they're doing, but mid and ADC are just way too important in the mid game and the late game for dealing damage that if it's not somebody who's comfortable on it, they probably don't do enough in the team fights. Let us know all your answers in the comments down below, and with that being said, let's jump straight into this video. So to start, let's take a look at why the Balance team wanted to mess with dodge timers in the first place. A few days ago, Riot Scruffy, one of League's lead gameplay designers, made a dev post discussing Riot's plans to nerf dodge penalties by increasing the longer timer you get for dodging multiple times and dishing out a harder hit to your LP. The plan was to slowly roll out these changes over the next few months, and here's how they saw it. When people dodge late into Champion Select, it feels bad for everyone else who spent a bunch of time going through the motions to get into game. This was mostly aimed at players that happily dip out of a lobby at the first sight of things going south. But now that they've had time to hear your feedback, the Balance team is pulling the plug on these changes. While I'm sure they saw all of the complaints about how terrible this was going to be for your climb to Challenger, the Balance team had their own reasons for deciding against it. On Twitter, Riot Scruffy said that rather than punishing dodgers, it'll be more effective to take a hard look into the reasons why people dodge instead. More specifically, they'll shift focus to cracking down on game-ruining behavior and improving matchmaking overall. And who can blame them? This is something that players have been begging for since the very beginning. And your response to the initial dodge timer changes convinced Riot that it should be a priority. It's hard enough sacrificing LP leaving a lobby for your own reasons, but there are three other big reasons people are dodging that are totally out of their control. Number one is trolls. Number two is getting autofilled or having autofilled teammates. And number three is problems with the client during matchmaking. How many times has this happened to you? You wait in queue, you finally get your role, and even get to pick your main, but some jerk insta-locks Sona jungle with cleanse and ignite and holds the whole lobby hostage because the enemy team banned their champion or because they wanted a different role. Or maybe you load into Champion Select and the first thing you see in chat is your jungler asking to swap because they've been off-rolled, but nobody's willing to trade them. How could you not dodge when this happens? Possibly the worst of them all, however, is when everything seems to be going smoothly, and just before you load into a match, you get an error saying that you can't switch your runes, and next thing you know, you're playing Syndra mid with Press the Attack. Now, Riot's already touched on their plan to slowly fix the client and all of the bugs that come with it before, so maybe in the near future, we can expect an update on their goals to tackle player behavior and overall matchmaking. Now let's shift gears for a bit. Issues surrounding Champion Select and dodging have continued to plague high elo queues for such a long time now. If you watch just about any master tier or higher streamer on Twitch, the first thing you'll notice is just how long their queue times are. Now, I'm not talking 5 minutes or so here. They've gotten used to waiting 10, 15, or even 30 minutes just to find one game. Right now, it's a little bit better because everybody's inside, but it's so much time that they're running full-on giveaways or playing entire rounds of another game while waiting to get into Champion Select. So when they finally manage to hop into a lobby, imagine how frustrating it is for them to find any trolls or autofills in their game at all. They've got no choice but to dodge and repeat the cycle. Challenger players have even pushed for the autofill mechanic to be removed entirely in high elo lobbies, simply because the skill difference between an off-rolled player and their opponent who mains that role is just way too high. If the Balance team were to go through with those dodge penalty nerfs, these are the players that it would impact the most. Whether they're aspiring pros, full-time streamers, or just plain good at the game, you'll be losing more time or having to wait extra time on top of the crazy queue times already, and that's a total nightmare. The extra LP loss is just icing on the cake. Now, Riot still hasn't addressed these concerns in high elo, but that doesn't mean that we won't see anything from them on it in the future. There are a bunch of things the Balance team takes into consideration when fixing an issue like this, and there's probably more than one right answer. At the very least, their new approach of looking into the reasons why players are dodging games is a step in the right direction. Now, that's everything that we have for you guys today in this video on the canceled dodge penalty nerfs. Thank you guys so much for watching, and if you enjoyed the video, then please hit that like, comment, and subscribe button to be notified of our next video. Also, make sure to check out proguides.com if you want to see huge improvements to your rank this season. That's all for now. Thank you guys once again, and I will see you on the Rift.